What's up, everybody? Welcome to No Control RC. So as you can see in front of me, I got a kind of a weird looking truck that's actually really cool. So this is our Roadkill Garage themed muscle truck, SCXiii Basecamp edition. So I'm just going to take the body off right now. We'll touch upon that briefly, but we'll get right into the actual chassis of the truck, and then we'll touch upon this. So yeah, I like it. You stay right there. All right, so we'll just generically kind of touch upon this because this isn't a new kit, but it's a kit that we built. So you can see we got the general grabber looking tires on it, and I had to get the ones with black wheels just to mimic the truck. We come over to threaded body shocks, and they are oil filled. They do work smooth. We got the 3-link front end with a panhard bar. We'll pip this guy up a little bit so you can see underneath. It's got the regular axles, not the portal style. And all this went together really nicely. It functions extremely smooth. Props to the guy that put it together. We'll start right back up here in the front. We got a 45-gram servo on the front of it, all the way connected right down to, we got a nice metal steel channel frame. So kind of just like a real truck, really. Looks good. So let's touch upon the center right here. Now, we didn't go, so I did build this and I didn't go crazy with the electronics, and I'll explain why. It just has a Surpass Hobby 21 turn 550 canned motor in it with an 80 amp receiver. Now the reason I did that is because I have a feeling, because I built it for Alex, once he starts driving it, he's going to be like, it's too slow, I want to change something. So here we go. Now there's no point in spending a ton of money on electronics because he's going to 3S the thing anyway. So we got the SR315, one of our favorite receivers that runs the whole thing in here. And we got our little mini Spectrum servo right there so we can operate our dig feature. So we got to get this thing out on the trails to test it out. And all the way to the back, 4-link rear end style. It's all plastic, but she's good. Look at that thing move, huh? Right here is where your battery will go. So she's pretty balanced, I think. With the battery in, it's going to probably be pretty balanced. So that's kind of the nut and bolts of it. You want to know anything else?
Yeah, let's talk about this.
Okay. So actually, let me throw this on the truck just for aesthetic reasons. So if anybody has ever watched Roadkill Garage, you might have seen this truck. Now, come on, get on there. So obviously any of you guys that have seen the truck know that it was not a 4-wheel drive truck. It was a 2-wheel drive slammed truck that they have done a bunch of things with. So what I did was Alex wanted a body themed the Roadkill Garage truck. So if you actually look the truck up, I mean, there's like 20 different variations of it, but the one I picked and took from, as you can see, it had black primer fenders, it had a primer hood. This side of the cab was primer, where this side was actually some kind of gray color, where the box of the step side was gray, and each fender was different color, and I tried to mimic a rough stripe on it, just for aesthetic to kind of make it look similar. And that, if I remember right, that was actually a sticker they sprayed over. So I tried my best to get 80% accuracy with this, because it wasn't going to go overboard to try to make it 100% accurate, because there was pieces that were like kind of painted here. One of the steps was half 2 different colors, and I was like, I just generically did the paint just to kind of make it resemble, because it's not worth going that level. The only thing I do kind of want to touch upon is, so this is one of those Pro Line 2-piece bodies, and you can kind of see inside. So this back half in the bed in here, getting the color into the frame rail up in there, you don't have any room. So what I elected to do was I actually thinned the paint a little bit more. And my goal by doing that was to, if I had it thin, to get it to run in. And I just kind of kept thinning it, adding a little heat, thinning it, adding a little heat. And I kind of did 5 probably coats in the top of the bed. Then I just let it sit for a whole day. That way I didn't have to worry about any paint reacting with anything. And the end result was, at least I don't have any thin spots that I can see. So I'm overall happy with it. And when I sprayed the other colors, my fear was if I sprayed the black like I did in the bed or the orange or this reddish color, I didn't want thin spots to appear up here, which I mean maybe might have made it look a little more natural, but that was my thought, and it seemed to work not half bad. So that's pretty much all I got to say on the body, except for I kind of wonder what this thing looks like out on a trail.
Well, guess we'll charge your battery.
I don't want it scratched though.
It's going to get scratched.
There was a lot of work to get this thing to look this bad.
Yeah, but you can just make another one.
Yeah, because that was fun. It's not bad. It's just a lot of taping on taping, taping on taping, taping on taping, and taping and untaping.
Yeah, what else do you have to do?
Yeah, it's good. I used a lot of tape though. I used as much tape on a real car as I did on this thing.
I'll get you a roll.
Okay.
Well, we did the initial run on this, and the results were less than impressive, but I will say a lot of it is probably due to these tires that Brandon put on. They're what he had kicking around, because this was the Basecamp kit, so it didn't come with any of that. So he just used what he had laying around, and he put these on. Not the greatest. They're hard. They don't grip real well. So I went and I purchased these Amazon wannabe Swampers. It was like $45 with the wheels and everything mounted. We'll say the foams that came inside them were really, really hard. So I actually cut them like a triangle so that it's got a very fine point at the top and less on the sides. So you can see it actually has some gripping action. We'll see how that works. I may have ruined them, but who knows? You know, maybe it works real well. From the initial look, I'm liking the way that they're gripping. So maybe that's the key to these cheap tires. But we're going to take this back out with these tires and see how much better it is. And I will say the second thing is the electronics in this thing. Brandon did touch on that they're El Cheapo crap, and they definitely are. And those will be coming out, and I will be putting a brushless system in this down the road because it's not real enjoyable to drive right now. It's not real smooth. So I'll be upgrading that as well. But for right now, let's see how it does with these tires compared to these ones. I'm sure it's going to be a lot better. Well, as you can see, the wheels and tires did make a huge difference. I won't say night and day, but it's pretty close. These tires are just so much better than these out gripping. I will say though, it's cold and wet here, so I probably wasn't getting the maximum traction I could out of these on a nice warm day when it's dry. The rocks I was climbing over are wet. Snow's melting here. It's crazy. But I will say for $45 or so from Amazon, wheels, tires with foams, it's hard to beat. I wasn't real sure of the size. I was going to like it on the truck, so I didn't want to go super high end yet. These will probably stay on this truck, actually. I'm that impressed with them. But I will update the electronics on this, and then we'll give it another round. I would like to get some brass on this to get some weight lower. Maybe I got spoiled driving the Vanquish VRD. That thing crawls like crazy, and I'd like to see if how close I can get this to that. At the moment, we don't have that much money into this. The Basecamp kit's like $270, wheels and tires, $45. Cheap electronics, less than $50, but those need to go away. And I already had the controller, so that to me doesn't count. I would like to thank Brandon for doing this body for me. I'm a big Roadkill fan. Those guys are awesome, and they actually helped get my son into liking cars and trucks more. So thanks for that. This is cool. It's a neat little build. Something anybody can do. It's not overly complicated. It's fun to do if you're looking for a project where you want to get hands-on. Or if you don't want to do this, they do sell a ready-to-run version of this, $450. It actually does come with a Chevy body, but it's a newer style. But this is the route I wanted to go because I really was looking for something to utilize this body on. So, like always, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. We're growing fast. It's all because of you guys, and we thank you very much.